Yeah, we're not doctors or giving any medical advice. This show is intended for educational purposes only, and you should talk to your doctor about any medical issues. Now, let's get at it.
Welcome to Chat the Fat, where nutrition authors Nissa Gron and TC Hale are going to break down common low-carb mistakes. Let's chat all things low-carb, keto, digestion, and more so you can maximize your results.
Hello, good people, and welcome back to Chat the Fat. This is episode 86. I'm TC Hale, and I'm also here with Nissa Gron. And Nissa Gron is also here with TC Hale.
That is true. Hello.
Hello, how the heck are you on this particular day?
A little cold. I'm in Arizona. It's cold here, so I can't imagine what it's like anywhere else.
Yeah, your clothes look warmy.
I also have slippers and a blanket on. I can't sleep.
Right. And in Florida, it's even cold. And it's just like, this is a little bit broken.
Yeah.
So for all you people who live up north where it's actually cold, sorry about your luck. That's just silly.
I did it for years and it's not any fun.
Yeah, I was in Chicago once and then I was like, oh, this is not where I'm gonna live.
Me too.
Well, it's holiday time, so then it's cold then. So it has to be cold when it's holiday time, I guess. I suppose. It snowed in Florida once, so we'll just go with holiday stuff. So what's going on for holiday things?
Do you think that people gain weight over the holidays because it's the holidays or because of the cold weather and they just want to stay huddled under a blanket and eat?
I think it's because it's the holidays and because of I think it's the same as the flu season because flu season happens to start right after we get a bag of candy at Halloween. So coincidence? I think not.
There is no more flu season this year. They're not counting flu cases because they're just counting coronavirus cases.
Right. Yeah. So when we have flu season, it happens to take place. Yeah, and a lot of kids didn't get a bag of candy this Halloween too because they just didn't go out anywhere.
That's true. Very, very true. So today we are talking about how to avoid weight gain over the holidays. We have 3 ways specifically. But before we get to that, I wanted to talk about our brand new keto challenge because it is coming to town on January 18th, so soon after Santa leaves.
That's gonna be fun.
Yes, and since competing in a challenge is always more fun when you do it with a friend, we do have a special deal going on right now. So let's say you don't know the perfect gift to get for your best friend who's also into improving their health or needs to lose a little bit of weight. We can definitely solve your problem because if you secure your keto challenge spot right now, you will get half off of your second challenge spot for a friend. So, if you are stumped for a gift to give this year, give your friend the motivation she needs to get back on track with keto, or if he's brand new, to learn how to keto the right way right from the start, which can be a really big deal. And you both get to give. You get to both give and receive with your own gift, since once you buy a challenge spot for yourself, you get to give one to a friend for half price. But you need to swoop that deal up soon because it won't last long. So if you want to get that deal, you can get it right now at eatingfatisthenewskinny.com/challenge gift.
And that really is the best gift. I mean, other than a frisbee. If you're going to give somebody a frisbee, just forget everything Nissa said. But if you're not getting somebody a frisbee, this is probably the best gift you can give them. It's the gift that keeps on giving,
And
just like a frisbee.
a frisbee is only like $1, so it's kind of a cheap.
Yeah, but it's the fun is worth more than $1. I'm just saying, if you've never given somebody a frisbee before, just try it out. And then after that, you'll always listen to everything I ever say, ever.
Like getting a half price challenge spot for your friend.
It'll be like that. Yeah, just like that.
All right. So, even if you are waiting around for the keto challenge to begin before you get started, we don't want you to gain a bunch of weight over the holidays. So, we thought today we would talk about 3 ways that you can avoid weight gain over the holiday season. There are some people who estimate a lot of people gain between 5 to 10 pounds in between the weeks of Halloween and New Year's Day, which we are smack dab in the middle of. So we don't want you to fall into that category of holiday weight gainers.
Right. So obviously the number one tip is going to be don't see your family, friends, or anyone. Just stay in your that's the first one, right? That's number one is just sit on your couch and don't communicate with people.
According to a lot of governors like Gavin Newsom, yes,
That's right.
he's getting more strict. Good thing I don't live in California and you don't either anymore.
Right. Well, I
I'm
have the opposite governor here. He's just like, everybody do what you want, let the parties roll.
I'm all for your governor. Okay. No, the first thing is if losing weight during this time of the year, the holidays are also busy with the hustle and bustle and buying gifts and hopefully seeing your family. So, if losing weight is too difficult this time of year, then maybe it's not time for you to focus on losing weight at all, but maybe it's just a good time for you to focus on maintaining where you're at or the weight that you've already lost so far this year.
Right. And that if that becomes your decision, then all of a sudden the maintenance becomes exciting. You know what I mean? Like just the fact that, oh, wow, I can kind of do some stuff and stay where I am. That's pretty fun.
Yeah, and it sounds like it should be easy, but there's a lot of people who spend all this time losing weight and then, maybe they stop keto or low carb or whatever it is altogether and they put on everything that they just lost like a lot quicker than they lost it too.
Right. But I think that that's what kind of the main point of what you're saying is a lot of people will lose a lot of weight and they'll stop and they'll go back to what they were doing before. And then it's horrendous. They not only gain it all back, but they usually gain more. And then they're like, wow, that was exactly awful. But when you can have the goal of just maintaining, that means that you do still have to do some of the things that got you the results that you got. You just might not have to do them as well or as often and all those things because you're just looking to maintain and not blow up like a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man or something. But that can be fun.
Yeah, and that's a big part of what we teach is that you want to form a lifestyle, not follow another new diet. So you want to be building these habits that become your lifestyle. So if you stop focusing so much on losing weight, it's not that you want to go back to your old life because you're going to feel pretty bad doing that anyway, especially with how good you feel while following keto. But as long as you keep up a lot of the habits that you've already made into your lifestyle, it's actually not that difficult to maintain.
Right.
And I think, it's a good time to maybe try this tactic over the holidays because it is hard to lose weight over the holidays. There's holiday cookies everywhere. Maybe you want to focus on the time that you spend with family instead of focusing on writing down everything that you eat. Maybe you have too much to get done. There's, a lot of shopping to get done. I know a lot of people are doing online shopping, but even that takes time to like scroll through and see what you want to buy, try to find the best deal. And also it's an emotional time for a lot of people over the holidays. So that in and of itself could make it more difficult for you to lose weight this time of year.
Right. It's just there's a lot working against you. And if you have a reason to lose weight or things are going so great that you don't want to stop, that doesn't mean that you can't do it. A lot of people lose weight during the holidays, but we're just kind of talking about there's another option that if it works for you, then maybe that's the best approach for you to take.
Do you think there's any merit in like having different points, like when you lose weight and then you want to just kind of maintain it for a while to give your body a chance to catch up and then maybe go through another phase where you lose it?
Explain that more, what you're saying.
So, like, say you lose 10
I
pounds.
got stuck on the fact that I don't use the word merit enough. I should use merit more. And then I started thinking about what merit meant, and I didn't really pay attention to what you were saying.
Yes. So, like, say you lose 10 pounds. So, you go from like 160 pounds to 150, but your goal is to maybe get to 140. So, if you're at that 150, do you think there's any, I don't know another word for merit, so I'm just going to use it again. Is there any merit to like trying to stay at 150 for a while to give your body a chance to maybe make that your new set weight for now? Or do you think it's better to just keep going?
Physiologically speaking, I don't think there's a lot of merit to that. But psychologically speaking, I think there's a whole bunch of merit. And there's also a lot of merit in using the word merit as much as you have merit to use it. And eventually, all the words become merit, and you forget what merit means, meritly speaking. But the thing is, like, you know, there are aspects of keto that we teach in our the advanced levels of our ready set keto method, where we kind of talk about using carb up days. I think we're going to talk about this a little bit this week and next week too. uh, so there's benefits in doing that as far as keto goes. So if someone wanted to buy, I do this all the time, where I'll go on carb cycling a little bit, where I'm just doing more carbs, where I'm even totally out of ketosis for a month or even two at a time. And then, uh, and I usually do put on some weight, and sometimes it's muscle because I'm doing more lifting. Like right now, I'm doing more lifting and things like that. So there's benefits to cycling. But if someone's starting to lose and they just lost 10 and they want to lose another 10, I think usually physiologically they're doing better by just sticking with it and allowing their body to continue doing what it's doing, especially if it's new. Usually, the benefits that come from cycling out of like keto, so to speak, come at the year or two mark, or a little bit later out of it. And carb up days get beneficial around I feel like 4 to 6 month range, when somebody's really becoming fat adapted. But for what you're talking about, there could be psychological aspects that could be beneficial to it. Do you agree with that, or did I just make all that up for the merit of it?
No, I definitely think like the mindset is huge because, sometimes when you want to lose weight, you want to hit your goal and you're just always go, go, go. What can I do to make my results even better? And you're always trying to find a new strategy. Whereas if you just take time to stay where you are for a while and practice the habits that you're learning, then you can take time to do things like be kind to yourself and, just kind of relax and establish these habits instead of trying to find new strategies to shock your body into like keep losing weight.
Right. And another good merit to remember is that you always, I'm just kidding. Go ahead. I just
But
wanted to use that word wrong one more time.
it is a strategy that I see a lot of our keto challengers doing, whether they know it or not throughout the year. A lot of them will jump into the challenges because it's such a motivating time to lose weight. You have the group support and we're in there like giving new strategies. So it's a great time to really gain that momentum and lose a lot of weight. And then a lot of times, maybe they'll still lose weight in between challenges, but it's just going to slow down a little, which kind of happens with weight loss anyway. You lose a lot at the beginning and then it slows down. So at least if you're in the mindset that you're going to have different periods, some periods where you do better than others, then you can be in the right mindset and be okay with losing at a slower pace. If you're in our membership, like in between challenges, or if you're not in our membership, just know that there'll be times that you'll lose more and there'll be times that you lose at a slower pace. And as long as you're mentally prepared for that, I think that could work for a lot of people.
Right. And here's something that's the most important thing to remember, in my opinion, about this particular uh, point of view, is that what you don't want to do is go into that mindset of, well, I didn't eat right today, so I might as well eat whatever the hell I want. And I might as well do that for the rest of the week. And I'll start over fresh on Monday, or I'll start over fresh at the beginning of the month, or I'll start over fresh in 2022 when the world is back to normal. You don't have that mindset. Every single thing that you eat counts. So if you're going to allow yourself to not focus on losing weight but more maintaining, then that's fine. Have that mindset and have that intention and follow through with that intention. You just don't want to eat something wrong and then go to the point of, well, I screwed up. I might as well continue to screw up for the rest of the day, week, month, year, decade.
Yeah, and I think that's part of the reason that focusing on maintaining sometimes can be good because you learn to focus on the habits that you need to maintain. And so many people, once they hit their goal or while they're losing weight, they gain all the way back because they go back to all of the things that caused the weight gain in the first place. So, if you take time to actually keep working on those habits that you've already established, then I think even if you just maintain for a while, then you could go back and like implement new strategies once you have your current habits down.
Right. Yeah. True. True. That is what I have for that.
True that. And we have members that do that where they have, busier periods followed by where maybe they don't lose a ton, followed by periods like the challenge where they focus and they gain that momentum. And even if they don't lose 2 pounds a week every single week, when they look at themselves at the end of the year, a lot of our members are actually down between 40 to 80 pounds over the course of the year. And, they're not all hardcore trying to diet, trying to starve themselves down. So sometimes they don't even realize how it happened. It's just
Ye-
where it
Yeah,
happened.
oops, my pants don't fit anymore kind of thing. That's can be fun.
Yeah, it's fun to look back, that you're 80 pounds less than you were last year. And it's just because you're living your life and you made this lifestyle that you actually enjoy living instead of constantly trying to starve yourself into submission.
Right.
Okay, so since we are a podcast that focuses on weight loss, I thought for number two, we would not talk about maintaining weight, but we would talk about losing weight. So if you are on a mission to still lose weight during the holidays, you can just try to switch something up to switch up fat loss. And so one thing I thought of is if you've been fat adapted for a while, like you said, the 4 to 6 month mark is good for a lot of people. It might be a great time to throw in some carb up days, maybe once each week. And this is something that we do teach in the keto phase of our Ready Set Keto method because it can really stoke your fat burning from just eating fat all the time.
Right. And um, that can also be a nice way. Maybe because you get to pick when your carb up day is. It doesn't have to be every 7 days or every 14 days, whatever you decide to do it. When I'm doing carb ups, um, I'll do them every 7 to 14 days usually. And a lot of times I'll do them every 2 weeks instead of every one. But if you have a holiday event, you could have your carb up day on that day. And we teach to do the carb up days the right way with the right kind of carbs, not just with pie. Um, but if you had a holiday thing and your carb up day was gonna have pie, odds are you're gonna gain weight, but maybe it's not as much as if you were just not fat adapted yet and just having pie while you're doing keto. That can be kind of horrendous.
So when you have your carb up days every 7 to 14 days, what are you eating? What does a typical day look like for you?
I typically do rice, and we had talked before about brown rice, but I've kind of learned a lot of things that I do better with white rice, and it seems to have a higher glycemic level than brown rice, but it also seems to cause less of a reaction to some people than white rice would. So sometimes I do white rice, and I really like sweet potato fries where I cook them in coconut oil. So that's a common one for me. What did you say?
Those are definitely my favorite. When I am eating more carbs, sweet potatoes are usually part of that.
Right, right.
And it's funny because before keto, I never touched a sweet potato, wouldn't go near one.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, I was all about the white potatoes, but now
Yeah,
I'm a potato girl.
right, right.
So I think the holidays is really a great time to start practicing those carb ups if you've been at this for a while and you are fat adapted because there are treats everywhere. And while we do say focus on the better for you carbs like the sweet potatoes or the rice, sometimes you just want a cookie. And I'm not advocating that you go eat a cookie, but it might happen. And so I feel like, at least if you're giving yourself a day here or there to do a carb up and you do have that cookie, you're not completely screwing up your plans. You don't want to eat all the cookies. But if one happens to fall in on your carb up day, it won't be as bad as if you're in ketosis all the time and eating that cookie because that will kick you out of ketosis and there's no strategy with that.
Right. Or if you're not fat adapted yet and you're trying to have a cookie, then you're pretty much gonna lead to weight gain 100% of the time there, um, because you're going to be eating all these fats and you're gonna knock yourself out of ketosis, and then, if it takes you a week or two to get back into ketosis, then it's probably gonna create, some weight gain in that scenario. But I don't know. I can't remember if we talk about this later. But the one thing with this that's important, especially with when your goal is to lose weight, if you're a person where it's a really slippery slope for you, then you got to kind of watch that, right?
Yeah, if having one carb up day is going to lead to a week full of carb up days to a month, and then you don't know how you're going to get back on track, then it's definitely not a strategy that's right for you. So you definitely need to know yourself. You need to know if those carb up days are going to trigger more cravings for more carbs, or if you can just get right back into a keto plan the very next day.
Right. I'm like a robot, so I have no feelings, so it's pretty easy for me to do that. But a lot of people are not robots, so you got to know what your situation is and do what's kind to you. If having a cookie is, you love to do that, but it's going to create this month of misery for you, then be kind to yourself and skip the cookie.
Yeah, so I actually made sugar cookies with my sons, and I decided to have one, and it actually made me feel really achy. So I'm thinking
Oh,
it's like gluten in there or something because I don't eat a lot of gluten. So
right,
it's something else you could figure out on a carb up day, which carbs make you feel bad.
right, right.
But
What's nice now is, if you've been listening to us and you've been doing a lot of these things we talk about, then you're more conscious to what's going on. A lot of people just eat and then they feel horrible and they don't even associate that they feel horrible due to what they ate. They just think that they're horrible because they got older yesterday. That seems to be a typical thing. So you're already way ahead of a lot of people just when you have the ability to pay attention to what's happening when you do things.
yeah, and it's easier when those foods aren't in your diet every day, and then all of a sudden you eat one and you can link it back, especially if you're writing down what you eat, because the reaction doesn't always happen right away. Sometimes it might take a day or two to show up.
Right.
So besides carb ups, because we focus a lot on carb ups, there are some other things you could switch up when it comes to ramping up fat burning over the holidays or pretty much any time. I know one thing that I wrote down is your workout, which you might know a thing or two about.
I worked out once.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can switch up things with workouts, and which is always beneficial. You never want to be doing the same thing all the time. Um, and sometimes switching up your workouts is not working out. And I'll do that sometimes where I'll go an extended period of time without working out at all and just give my body a really nice rest. And then when I go back, it responds better. Um, but if you can switch things up by doing heavier weights. If you're doing weights, you can do lighter weights and more reps. You can change the type of cardio you're doing. If you're doing only weights, you could do cardio instead. There's always things you can switch up. You just want to do something different.
Yeah, and even if you do the same thing, so like our gym, it's not closed right now, but you do have to wear a mask, and I'm not really down with wearing a mask while I'm trying to work out. So
Right. I didn't like
yeah,
that idea.
I'm on a break with the gym right now. So I have been going out for walks every morning. And there's some days where I just take a regular walk. There's some days that you see me out there with my little 5-pound weights, doing weights while I'm walking. Other days where I'll, do high intensity interval training with just like some runs or some sprints in between walking. So even just a normal walk, there's ways that you could switch that up, even if you're just doing that.
Right.
I used to be a mall walker. There's no shame in that. If you live in some place like Chicago, it's too cold to walk.
Right. 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 Right.
The older crowd walk in the mall. Um, Something else that you could switch up is your fasting schedule. So I know a lot of people get in the same rut, like a lot of people follow OMAD. And I personally find that if you follow OMAD every day, that's a good way to eventually stall out. So if you are fat adapted and you are adding fasting to your routine, I usually like to do something like, 3 to 5 days of a longer fast, so like a 16 to 18-hour fast. And then maybe throw in a couple days where I do an OMAD, which stands for 1 meal a day. So you're only eating 1 meal that day. So I like to switch up my schedule like that.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of qualities to doing that too, and I really don't like to see people just doing the same thing all the time with that either. Even though they find a schedule that works for them, I think that's great, but I like to see some variety go in there.
Yeah. And then another thing that you can switch up are the fats that you choose. So a lot of people end up eating the same thing every day. I know that I can definitely fall into that pattern too. But if you've ever followed Dr. Pompa's work, he actually has something called the 222 method, where he recommends if you are in a stall or you're trying to ramp up weight loss, that you actually switch up your fats to like 2 tablespoons of coconut oil each day, 2 tablespoons of butter, and 2 tablespoons of a high quality olive oil. And that way, he says when you switch it up like that, it will help your body burn fat faster that way. Do you see any merit in that?
Yeah, I think that that's fine. If somebody's super catabolic or something, they might not want to do 2 tablespoons of olive oil. That could be a lot, but beyond that, I think that that's fine. And I don't like to cook with olive oil just to make sure people know that. But I've never heard of that method, but I think that I think that's great to, mix up what you're taking in as far as fats go. And I like all those fats. So cool, Pampa on.
Dr. Pompa's awesome. I've learned a ton from him. All right. Do you have any other things that you'd switch up?
Your hairstyle, probably switch up your hairstyle a little bit. No, I got nothing.
All right, we're good. So we can get to number 3, which is staying accountable to help you stay on track. So there's a few different ways that you can stay accountable. You can either stay accountable to a group. So maybe you have your favorite Facebook group. Um, just because telling yourself or even telling someone else that you want to lose weight and hoping for the best, it's not going to take you very far. So you really have to take action and do things to help you stay accountable to your goals. And so, whether your goals are just to maintain or to continue to lose weight over the holidays, you still need to take action for either one of those. So, the one thing that we have is with our Keto Decoded membership is we have a group where people can stay accountable to each other. So they just kind of come into the group and, check in with each other, see how they're doing, see if anyone needs a pep talk to stay on track. So that's one thing. You can have your favorite Facebook group. Just make sure you're going into a nice group where people are nice to you, because there are a lot of keto groups out there where people are not nice.
Well, it's not that they're not nice. It's just that they're pure evil. But I do like in our group, it is fun, especially when somebody posts like what's going on kind of thing or some kind of, whatever it is. And somebody's like, oh, wow, I really needed to hear that today. You really see the value when someone's like, oh, that came along at the right time for me.
Yeah, and it's really important to stay a part of the positive groups because, like I said, I don't know if, I don't know why people are mean in the keto groups. I don't know if it's they're not in ketosis and they're trying to teach other people how to be in ketosis. Like that makes me, I don't know. They have a very know-it-all attitude and thinks everything should work. That works for them should work for everyone else.
I don't know if you know if that it's not just keto groups, it's just the internet.
Yeah, the internet.
That's where it happens. Internet. Yeah.
So if groups are not your thing or you don't like sharing in groups, something else is there's different apps you can use. So there's an app that I found recently. It's called Habit Share. And so you can put in a habit that you want to stick with each day, and it'll actually pop up a reminder to help keep you on track. And if you do like groups, but you don't like social media, you can actually put a group together in that Habit Share app and keep each other accountable like that.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it's a pretty cool app. And then something else is you can stay accountable to yourself. So one thing when I first started losing weight was I vowed to write everything down in a journal, which I've done a million times. I'm sure a lot of people listening have. But the difference this time was I just kept it really simple, because when you overcomplicate it, it's something that you won't stick to. And so that's why I just put together my journal that I use on Amazon. It's called my 28-day keto transformation journal. And I pretty much put down everything that I tracked to help me lose my first 70 pounds. And I lost that even though I wasn't really following keto yet. I was just following low carb and working through my digestion. And since you're not sure maybe what it means to keep it simple, you can get the journal and check that out. But the accountability that I had when I actually made that vow to myself to write everything down and I actually followed through, it made a really big difference, and it kept me on track long term for the first time ever, which helped me turn low carb from just another diet that I was trying into an actual lifestyle where I got results, and I got results that stuck.
Right. And if you've read any of my books, you know that this is a really like one of my favorite things to do. And what I did with all of my personal training clients that had a lot of weight to lose. I wish I would have had your 28-day keto transformation journal at that time. I would have just handed that to clients and I would have been like, fill it out or don't come back. Because I would tell people that I'm not going to work with you if you're not willing to food journal and let me see what's going on, not only for the benefits that come to you by being conscious of what you're eating and actually looking at it and seeing, oh wow, I put all of this stuff in my gullet today, and seeing what's going on, but also so that I could kind of see what kind of help things you needed to change up. And so I wouldn't even take on a client unless they were going to food journal. So it's that big of a deal. And so if you need the help to do this thing is a nice way to just do it easily.
But you have to actually commit to doing it, because just buying the journal and looking at it every day will not help you. But making yourself write in it every time you eat, you make yourself write. People think it takes so much time. It doesn't. It could take less than 10 minutes. It can get you in the right frame of mind. I know there's actually someone in our group who reached out to me that she got the journal. She already had her courses. She was already working her way through, but she said the journal was the thing that really got her motivated to get back on track. And so she's going through our courses again and using the journal and sticking with it.
Yeah, and there's just something about it, just makes you make better decisions. You grab for something, you're like, oh, I'm gonna have to write that down, and then I'm gonna have to look at it and see that I actually ate that. So maybe I just won't eat that and I'll eat something better.
And also part of what you want to write down is how many carbs something has. So if you think you're following keto, but you're not losing weight, are you really looking at the total carbs? Are you really following keto? Because there's a lot of people who think they are, and then I'll see them eating like fried chicken.
Right, right. Yeah. So yeah, help yourself out.
All right. So whether you use my journal or get your own, definitely hold yourself accountable by writing down what you eat. And even though this is 3 ways to avoid holiday weight gain, we do have a bonus tip,
Oh, this is free?
a free tip on our free podcast.
We are generous.
So I just wanted to remind everyone that the holidays are really just a few days. It seems like sometimes they can take forever, because there are treats everywhere and holiday parties, although I don't know if this year will have that many, but there are still treats everywhere. So just remember that the holidays are 1 day, maybe 2 days. And if you do go off your plan, don't beat yourself up. Just be intentional about it and save up your treats for Christmas Day or whenever you celebrate, whenever the biggest day to celebrate is for you. And don't think that you need to eat treats every single day because it's Christmas time.
Yeah, just December does not equate eat a cookie. It's not just, that's not how it works. It's just a holiday in December.
Yes, there's 1 day, Christmas Day, maybe Christmas Eve. Okay. So just as a quick review, the 3 ways to avoid weight gain over the holidays is number 1, focus on weight maintenance if this time of year is too busy to focus on weight loss. Number 2, switch something up to trigger fat loss. And number 3, stay accountable to a group or even to yourself with a journal, plus that bonus tip to remember that the holidays are only a day or 2, so don't spend the entire month indulging. So next week, we will be back and we are going to talk about 3 non-food things that are keeping you stuck. While macros are important when it comes to weight loss with keto, there is really much more to effective weight loss than what you eat. So we will be back to talk about it next week. And of course, don't forget to check out that special Keto Challenge offer where you buy 1 spot and get a second spot for half price. You can get that now at eatingfatistheNewSkinny.com/challenge gift.
Great. And don't forget that today's episode was brought to you by the letter merit.
Merit.
It's really a word, but if you say letter, then it makes it even more wrong. And that's why we do it that way. Like years from now, we're going to hear, oh, I named my kid Merit. Oh, it's horrible. Okay. All right. So if you need to see any of the show notes from today, just go to chatthefat.com/episode 86. And we will see you guys next week.
Whether you're brand new to keto or just looking to move past roadblocks, join us for our next Troubleshooting Keto Master Workshop. Go to chatthefat.com/workshop to find upcoming dates and register for this totally free event. You just might find your missing piece of the puzzle. Until then, we'll see you next week on Chat the Fat.